Hey everyone, Strangers103 here today, finally with some actual YouTube content, but slacking pretty much all of my previous time away. Figured I'd make a little bit of a PSA first. For those of you guys that are watching it, like, after it's, been posted, for some reason I tend to get more views, like, half a day afterwards, whatever. And right now, hopefully, if you're watching it, within about 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours of me posting it, I am streaming now on twitch.tv/strangers123, so you can join me, have a great, end of the weekend, and ask me questions about the games you'd like to see. But back to the replay. This is KMS Lolicon playing in a Grozovoi. In a pretty heavy tier 10 game, we get double tier 10 Destroyer, 3 Hindenburgs on our side, they get a Minotaur, and triple tier 10 Battleship, 5 battleships, 2 of them in tier 9, it's pretty heavy there as well. 1 tier 8 cruiser each side, we get a Hadekaza, they get a Fletcher though. And we catch the really awkward spawn. So right in front of Charlie, so I guess we might as well just head towards that. Looking at the Grozovoi, currently our anti-aircraft is turned on. Kind of need to be careful of that if we do get ourselves spotted. That could be a little bit of a nuisance if our AA just suddenly opened fires and, gets ourselves revealed. It's not going to be a problem right now because unless their Minotaur has a plane and decides he wants to rush the middle of the map, in which case he's probably going to find himself getting sunk pretty fast, it's unlikely we're going to find ourselves being actually spotted by any aircraft anytime soon. Now the enemy team do get double Missouri and a Minotaur, so we kind of need to be careful of the radar. They get a Shimi and a Fletchers, that's 2 torpedo boats and a Kaba, so that kind of makes up for us having a tier 8 destroyer. Hadekaza is still incredibly strong, and Yoyoung gets really good torpedoes, unlike us. So heading towards Charlie, we should definitely consider doing a standard capture of this with our tail towards the enemy. Because currently we can see that the team is kind of advancing towards a different direction, and we make this turn way too early. We are never getting ourselves into a proper standard capping position. We kind of want to head in like this, up here, and then break away. So we're sitting here and in a safe position, because as we see, our torpedoes are nowhere near loaded. This is a older replay, so I kind of need to scroll in twice, and that should hopefully not yield the press shift enter binocular view thingy-majiggy. But we've basically just successfully kited the cap until we get into the place that's most likely to get torpedoed. And, well, I mean, our torpedoes are loaded, but we need to be careful if they... Well, we wouldn't know until now, because the Fletcher is spotted and dead. But if there was a Fletcher kind of in this area over here, remember, we're RPF'd currently. If there was a Fletcher over there, he could have launched torpedoes and we could be dead around about now if he had a full torpedo spec. And, of course, the Shimi has just gotten their torpedoes loaded. They load at just short of 18 if they're running F3s. And they're going to be arriving right about now as well if the Shimi has launched on us. And we are RPF, so we really need to be aware of that. And we have torpedoes loaded as well, but we haven't launched them, so I guess we're holding them, and we're kind of hoping that the opponent destroyers are also doing the same. Now, the Fletcher decided to be the Kaba was supporting. We don't know where the Shimi is, but the fact that we're still RPF is pretty much telling us that the Shimi is likely somewhere out here, or at least whoever is having the RPF. We don't know if it's the Shimi for sure. It could be the Hindenburg if he's got some RPF set up on it, but chances are it is the enemy Shimi with RPF, especially considering the fact that he has not contested the cap, and on top of that has not torpedoed us. Also, we're a little bit like on the border of the cap, so if we hadn't been torpedoed at, there's a good chance we would have been forced to leave it instead of having a chance to angle against them. Regardless, our team's blobbing the west, the enemy team is pretty heavily blobbing the west, and we just lost the RPF, and that's incredibly important, because it tells us that, well, it couldn't be anything here, because they would have RPF'd something here. It can't be anything up here, because we'd still be the closest target to that. So it has to be between us and the Ethno, which means that one of the ships over here has it, which means either Hindenburg or Shimi, who probably is, well, with the RPF, has just revealed himself is over there, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, sunk, 9, 10, 11, missing 1, it's the Shimi. So the Shimi has basically just revealed exactly where he is to us, if, of course, we... kind of extrapolated that for the information that the Hindenburg was not the one with RPF, and the fact that the Shimi had it, and he's therefore has to be up there to actually have been able to have Ethmo pick up that RPF marker from us instead of, well, us keeping it. And we get radared, but the fact that that Missouri took 4 is probably a good indication that it was not that Missouri that used it. Chances are it was a Missouri over here on the enemy western side here, the guy behind here that radared to try to catch this guy and his smoke screen. But for the moment, it's fine. We're not actually in much of a risky position. And if we want, we can reverse ourselves around the corner, poke our red turret around, and blink at the Missouri with them. We decide we're going to smoke. I mean, you know, it's kind of like nothing can really spot us. So we can kind of just poke our red turret around and blink away at the Missouri. But I guess if we want to use all 3 guns, that's completely fair. Although without Superintendent, we have AFD Concealment, we have Survivability Expert, so, and I'm pretty sure we don't have BFD or something. Oh, never mind, I have to do this again. 1 and 2, and it turns out the Missouri that we just torpedoed wasn't too happy about us having torpedoed them, so we're taking a few secondaries here, most likely, until we can get rid of them. Shooting AP at this kind of an angle is not bad of a choice. 38mm of plating, upper freeboard plating, and the 90mm standard superstructure, easily picked off. But we kind of use a smoke for not really much to achieve, so we're down the smoke screen right now. We need to be careful of that. If the enemy Kaba comes along to pick a fight with us, and has a lot of health, then we could find ourselves in a really awkward position if we end up running out of smokes. And if you want to blink on something else, well, not having the smoke screens is awkward. But it looks like the Yamato is actually coming along to feed us a bit more. But if we saw those torpedoes, it pretty much confirmed that the shimmy was in fact on the eastern side of the map. Currently, there's not much for that shimmy to actually go and farm, but I mean, it might be an idea to just get rid of them. And it looks like we're full dumping torps on the lead marker of the Yamato. At least I think that's a lead marker dump. Not a bad choice overall. However, if we're full dumping torpedoes like this, we really shouldn't shoot at it. There's basically 2 ways of doing it. One, flooding damage over time. However, if we open fire, that's of course counting that he has not noticed this shooting smoke screen that is now shooting at that, and the fact that the Missouri kind of got torpedoed and died. Well, we're basically hoping for the best in that case, and the shimmy actually gets himself spotted in Delta. I mean, with all 12 ships' locations being known, I mean, 3 of them are sunk, but knowing exactly where everything is, and the fact that the Kaba is low HP that's actually a really good reassurance for us. But we should consider an extraction plan sometime soon. We should have been considering an extraction plan a while ago, honestly. Now, where can we go to actually be useful? Well, realistically speaking, it's not here, because, I mean, our blob was kind of there, and looking at it right now, our blob's got more health than their blob to an extent. I mean, Minotaur's squished, this Hindenburg's bled. Looks like we're opening fire on the Yamato. The first shot doesn't get us spotted, the island blocks it, but wouldn't shoot again. Turns out we are going to shoot again, so we potentially run the risk of bleeding. Wow, double fire. But we do potentially run the risk of bleeding HP here, and we need to be careful because this game is by no means won whatsoever. The enemy team, while they may have thrown away one of their Missouris, we've thrown away an Ithmo in the process as well. So, kind of points-wise and situation-wise, we're awkward because we have a group of Hindenburgs here. I think they're not in a division, but we've got a group of ships over here that are kind of in an awkward position. Gurfus in the back's bled a little bit. This guy's bled quite a bit. But, our situation isn't really that great, because we now have a fleet behind us, and they've got control of pretty much all of this. They've encircled us at this point, so we need to basically head back, and priority 1 is to get rid of the shimmy, because with the shimmy gone, the team can fully focus on deleting the Hindenburg for us. Now, the Yamato, well, he did bleed quite a bit, and we're up to 120,000 damage, but only really the damage on the Missouri has yielded anything of great use right now, getting rid of the Missouri. And it turns out the Missouri next to us has radar down the enemy shimmy. We need to be careful because we know 1 salvo of torpedoes has passed. However, and what we should be doing here, and we'll just stop this, we should actually have gone in here and sat here. Just stopped our ship there and shot at him. Because, if we try to perma-spot this guy, we get ourselves in a cross between the Hindenburg and the Yamato. He doesn't currently have a smoke screen, not that it matters, because he's radaring him down right now. But that way, we can ensure that we're not paralleling the path of the Missouri, and we need to remember that we're faster than the Missouri, so we'll catch up with the torpedoes if he's launched, the shimmy's launched any more torpedoes in, kind of like this and this kind of path, and, or in, this kind of path, we run the risk of running into them. So the further forwards we get, the more kind of into the enemy's lines of fire we get. That was a way too far to the left, there's no way you can swivel that fast. That's aimed a bit too far to the right, so it's unlikely to hit anything useful there. And, well, thankfully, Yamato doesn't decide to delete us. Instead, he decides to open fire, halfway between. He wanted to delete us, however, he had the Missouri locked, and his shells kind of ended up going nowhere. Launching... I mean, he could actually fully away turn, but I'm pretty sure he's trying to bow in on us, because he realizes that there is a chance that there's going to be more fish incoming, and the fact that we reveal ourselves and bled a little bit of health there. So we kind of get unlucky in a way that we didn't actually get to wipe out the enemy's shimmy there. Missouri didn't get good salvo off, and we didn't actually get the proper aim to deal with him either. I'm not he's shooting HE at Missouri. I mean, it's actually kind of dangerous. Looks like he has used a damage control party just as the torpedoes arrive. Completely the correct move by the enemy Yamato to perform. They're triggering our defenses to try to deal with the float planes that are around. Nothing wrong with that. Might as well pick up a little bit of additional bonus experience while we're at it. Yami bled quite heavily, and there's more HE shells incoming, so he's probably not going to find himself living for too long. Not clicking on the plane, not a big deal. We do pick up the kill there, though, and we should really seriously consider evacuating the smoke screen rather than take, because we do have a Hindenburg behind us. This Missouri is probably going to go down. More torpedoes passing off in the distance, and turns out the Hindenburg took a widespread meme, of all things. But we now, with the entire team coming back, the enemy shimmy all of a sudden has some targets to torpedoes, so we kind of need to go in there and just get rid of him. So the enemy team on the northwestern side, I mean, they're kind of swiveling themselves around right now. We're taking back Delta, but they can very quickly just contest Charlie and Bravo, unless we're able to hold it. It's really up to the Yueyang to hold Bravo at this point, and Harikaze kind of needs to try to do his level best to just stay alive and try to torpedo stuff. That's kind of the best thing he can do right now. Him and the Yueyang to try to just delay the enemy fleet up there, stop them from coming back, while we kill the enemy shimmy, because at the moment, there's only one Hindenburg that can potentially deal with us. So I would probably fully dedicate effort right now to getting rid of the enemy shimmy, and he did need a little bit of health, so, in a DPS trade, and it looks like he actually gets himself spotted by a Hindenburg. So that's very useful for us. I would just turn around, and when there's like a couple of seconds left in the cap circle, make sure that no one can reset us, and then open fire, just to push pressure on the shimmy together with the Hindenburg, and now's a good time to open fire, because we can no longer, the enemy can't get shells in time to reset us. But it looks like turns out we decided to wait, so we potentially lost out on 2k damage we could have dealt to him if we had opened fire earlier. And now we're going to be spotted in this awkward situation without a smoke screen and a Hindenburg potentially able to shoot us. So we kind of can, we should have been trying to get ourselves behind this so that the Hindenburg can't actually line a shot on us, instead of trying to bow tank and angle against them. But if we're going to do this, at least stop and drop right now, those shells might kind of maybe miss us, but we take a little bit of damage. It's not a big deal though, we have enough health. And we should definitely go back and deal with the shimmy right now, because getting rid of the shimmy means that, spotting the shimmy means that it's 1 plus shimmy engaging us, 14,000 health, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, enough ship, like, even just this, and this, potentially can very quickly melt down the shimmy. But we can't leave the shimmy be, because if you leave the shimmy be, and this guy's now turning back to potentially even try to support, or just angle in against stuff instead of, because he's realized that we're going to permanently spot him, so he's going, if he tries to broadside up there, he might not last as long as if he just tries to sit there and tank it, so he might be trying to bow and angle against stuff, and definitely turns out to be the case. But we kind of need to deal with their shimmy, because if he gets around, we might have points right now, but low HP, somewhat mediocre HP, it's a Montana, he can heal back, mediocre HP, Hindenburg's awkward situation, Harikaze is bleeding, He's probably getting Minotaured, so he's probably going to find himself going down. They're now coming in. Charlie's is being capped. Kava's low HP, though. This guy's somewhat low HP. But this guy doesn't look like he's dying anytime soon. That's kind of horrible. And Shimi just killed the Kerfuffle. So, well, awkward situations are awkward, and the points differential is kind of starting to vanish. And oh, we actually pick up the Shimi here. So now, well, we don't not really have the option to just fully deal with the shimmy anymore, because this guy's now there as well. So we're kind of stuck between we're kind of stuck between that rock and that hard place, and we're actually being engaged by that. Thankfully, the shimmy kind of fired, so focus now should just be to turn around and mark the shimmy for the team to shoot at. This Hindenburg's, he can be a problem, but it's not going to be a too big problem if the entire. Oh, I would not smoke that last smoke. This is a big mistake. We can at least defend the plane down. But this is a huge mistake right here, using the last smoke instead of killing the shimmy, so the shimmy's about to get away, and if the shimmy... You just tore the Montana down, so, well, this is kind of turning into be a little bit problematic, so we're now actually in the points disadvantage situation, and we're not really killing off this enemy Hindenburg either. If he just decides he wants to advance rapidly in the opposite direction, well, that's a bit awkward, and on top of that, we have a Hindenburg. Yeah, there you go, Hindenburg behind us, and, well, we're hydroed, and we just fired while spotted, so, we're kind of going to be getting hydroed for a while, and if we leave the smoke screen, we're going to be surface spotted by the enemy Hindenburg. And it turns out the hydro actually expired, but, well, we just, leaving the smoke screen is the right thing to do. We don't know how long the Hindenburg's hydro's been up for, or, how long it's going to be up, but, oh dear. Thankfully, it was a torpedo that just got loaded that got jammed. If that had been if that had been the other two with 20 seconds left, that would have been really, really salty. But we bleed a bit of additional health, so our ability to deal with the shimmy is now even further reduced than what it already was. This Hindenburg has decided he wants to turn it around, so he could actually find himself getting picked up, but looks like one of our Hindenburgs got killed. And our team's situation now is really horrible, because they have a Montana and a Missouri that are probably high health. Curvis is probably reasonable health, and, well, we've got one Curvis left, so that's kind of bad. And the points are getting to the point where, well, if we lose any ships, and we're going to lose ships, like this guy's 35 HP, these guys are going to get bled because they're facing concentrated firepower and we're not concentrating. Sure, we can kill him and we get lucky to snipe the plane down. But this guy does not seem to be interested in dying anytime soon. The shimmy is still alive, so this guy is going to be facing torpedo troubles. And the shimmy is just, the shimmy is also points. We're going to open fire on this Hindenburg while he's low HP. I mean, getting us... I'm not sure if it's worth it. I mean, sure, we got the kill, but we can kind of at least try to get in the smoke. Never mind, the smoke's expired, so we're still going to be spotted for a bit. But now, well, we're basically hanging this Gurfast out to dry. No one, he hasn't been able to kill that, so I don't really know. But in the end, not killing the shimmy, people that go to the northeastern side of this map is a giant noob trap, and at least our Gurfast seems to have high drawn and is being widespreaded by the enemy shimmy, so that's intriguing, to say the least. But he's probably about to go down, because he's now broadside to a Hindenburg, and the Hindenburg is going to slaughter him with AP, probably. Yeah, there it is. So that enemy Hindenburg down there has had a really, really good game. But kind of just got fed, and lucky that he didn't, get killed. But of course, our team really didn't go to that side. And the issue there is that he got supported pretty well by the enemy shimmy. So it really was the enemy shimmy and the Hindenburg, dealing with the team that didn't know how to deal with them in return. Not to take anything away from their achievements, but they did get fed. So now, there goes the other Hindenburg in the distance, and this guy is probably about to get killed by the Grozovoi, so this game is almost certainly going to be lost right now. So whatever damage we can pick up on this Missouri, and let's hope he doesn't radar us. I mean, as long as we don't enter the sea, where chances are not going to get radared, but it turns out the Yoyang is actually the one that's being kind of focused by the radar, so we should just turn to the left side over here to kind of put the island between us and the Hindenburg. 7k HP is enough to tank a little bit of cruiser fire, but we still don't want to do it because we're out of smoke screens, and if we find ourselves being, having an engagement by the shimmy forced on us, well, it's going to be awkward. Now, the Missouri still has a radar on, and I'm pretty sure he's going to realize that we're going to try to torpedo him, so if he's smart, he'll actually ram himself into the island or stop and drop over there, and also try to angle himself against incoming potential Yoyang torpedoes, which are now being launched, because Yoyang kind of would have had an angle. We don't full dump him, and I would have waited with launching torpedoes a little bit longer, and would have aimed them. If the lead marker tells us to aim them like here, I would kind of take like half the lead marker and put him behind, because chances are he's going to try to slow down or turn on it. Turns out that wasn't actually the case, and he gives us another 30k damage, well, 20k damage and a free kill. So that's kind of nice. But we're still going to lose a game at this point because the Hindenburg went down, he didn't have any smoke, he didn't have any health, and he didn't really have a means to sustain any kind of engagement. I mean, even if he killed the enemy Montana off, the Yoyang still needs to get himself into Alpha and cap that, and that's going to be the end of the game. And the Shinami can always just pick up behind and take B from Yoyang while Yoyang is in A. And, at the moment, while we're capping Charlie and stopping the point income, we're not getting any income ourselves. And unless this Montana detonates, we're not going to win this right now. So, we might as well just write this off as a loss. And I wouldn't say this Team Shadow, you are definitely a part of it, and you didn't go and kill off the enemy shimmy when you could have, which would probably most likely have secured a victory, because that would have fully meant that the team could have focused on eliminating this Hindenburg. Shimmy actually opened fires there. Somehow he got spotted. One torpedo hit, no detonation, so that would not have been enough for the victory. We would have needed to basically swing the 100 points differential around. I think it's 100 points from destroyers. From battleships, I mean. Battleship, yeah, it's 100 points differential. Turns out Yoyang is currently shooting at the Montana. I mean, we did get a flooding on him, but, hey, and... Ooh, looks like Yoyang actually just got MLG'd by the enemy Curfus. I mean, Yoyang can easily just go around the island and, stop the MLGing and prevent him... Is he spotted? I am not actually sure at this point. I think he must be spotted because he's taking such accurate fire. He's definitely spotted right now. And he goes down, so that definitely takes away any chance we would have had to deal with the enemy Montana. But even then, I don't think we would have loaded the torps on time and actually gotten the torpedoes on time to reach the Montana to kill him. So, no detonation kind of meant that no victory came in for us. And a part of that, again, is kind of all just started snowballing from the enemy shimmy getting away with it, because it's a free kill that, it honestly was a free kill that we kind of gave up the chance on. Instead, using our smoke screen to shoot at an enemy Hindenburg that we eventually, sure, we got the kill on, but it wasn't really an incredibly useful kill on. But if we just try to deal with the shimmy when only the shimmy and the Hindenburg could have engaged, while basically half the remaining team was in a potential area to engage the enemy shimmy, we could probably have killed off the shimmy, especially since he used a smoke screen, and he would not have been able to conceal himself from us at all there. So that kind of just snowballed, and the shimmy on the enemy team did get a pretty decent amount of kills in the end, and damage, especially considering the fact that he was basically useless for about 60% of the game, considering the fact that he went to the side where no teammates of ours were on. So and he didn't even contest Charlie, which basically allowed us to build up a little bit of a points income to begin with. But again, another part of that is if the team gets complacent in the end, thinking, well, same for you, if you get complacent in the end, thinking, oh, we've got the points, we're going to win this, when in reality the points can swing, especially on a map like Haven, the points can swing incredibly fast on that map. 4 capture zones, of course, they give you, I think, 2 points every 4 seconds or something like that, something weird like that. But still, 4 capture points, it's even capture points, and of course the enemy shimmy behind us and kills, easily able to swing up to about 100. Up to exactly 100. Battleships swing a total of 100 points. It's plus 60 minus 40. But with that in mind, you kind of need to be careful of how you handle these late game situations. And in general, going for the full damage farm there didn't actually pay off in the end, ignoring the enemy shimmy, because he definitely farmed up a lot more important and useful things in the later stages of the game, where it really, really mattered and really, really damaged, if you want, our ability to come back into the game in the later stages. 14 torpedoes for Grozovoi is definitely quite a high number. Grozovoi torpedoes don't do a lot of damage, but they also have a really, really long loading time. So getting that many hits is definitely quite a nice result. 193k damage is not bad either, but it could probably have been 180k damage and a victory if we'd actually gone and killed off the enemy shimmy, because chances are we could still have gotten ourselves in a position where we had got the damage we did, if we, even after having killed the shimmy, although, probably have lost a bit of potential damage in the end, but we probably could have saved one of the smoke screens, which we could have used to plink as well. So, half a dozen, what's the saying again? Half a dozen, 6 the other, or something like that? I don't know. Whatever. It's kind of one of these pick your poison kind of deal. What do you want, damage or wins? And in this case, it seems we picked damage, but we could potentially have gotten win plus some decent damage as well. Being pretty picky with this, because I know you can. I know this is kind of what you're looking for, Shadow. This is kind of the kind of tips you're looking for on when to go looking for certain things and when not to go do so. So in this case, the victory could have been achieved by simply getting rid of the shimmy, and that would have cleared up again the flanks and the force multiplier. The team would no longer be facing a negative force multiplier, because the enemy team can shoot at their broadside, because they also want to angle against the shimmy at the same time. And if they don't angle against the shimmy and they show broadside to that, it's also going to result in some battleship and cruiser deletions. Quick look at the team scores. Yeah, we're top scorer. Hindenburg's actually pretty high up there as well, both of them indeed. Grozovoi are just short of that, all of us above 1k. In general, this is actually the losing team, keep in mind that. Like you can see here, defeat, it says there. This is the losing team, and 3 of our players have more XP than the bottom 3 of theirs. So you can see in general our team was just slightly better in terms of the achievements we did, although Harukas I kind of would have expected that placed around here, but I guess he didn't get lucky with the torpedoes, which kind of influenced the end result. If he had gotten a couple of good torpedo hits and kills against some of the battleships, same for the Yueyang. If these guys had done more damage to the enemy battleships, they would have been having a hard time getting back into the battle. So yeah, in the end, the enemy shimmy didn't actually get a high score, but getting super high scores in the shimmy is kind of not actually that often. It's you need a lot of damage, and he didn't get that because he was pretty much out of the game for the first 10 minutes. Didn't contest Charlie. He could easily have killed us because we were broadsiding the smoke screen. He was the one that had RPF most likely, and he didn't even realize he had no clue how to use his RPF. Basically, point case, he had no clue what he was doing with that skill point investment. He didn't use it to deal with us. He got himself spotted by us later in the stages of the game as well. RPF would have prevented that if he had used it properly, but we didn't actually capitalize on that. We didn't actually get rid of him, which kind of resulted in, I think, this and this ending up getting killed when they could potentially have dealt with this guy. And this guy definitely had a very nice game on his side of the map. You can see that he got 5 kills over there, decent amount of damage in there as well. Even though, again, he was useless for the first 6 minutes of the game with pretty much nothing really important to actually engage. So yes, very quick poke at the post-battle results screen. We got 130k damage from 14 torpedoes. These things do like 14,600 damage or something weird like that. So they're pretty potato, especially with basically 2 minutes reload, which is the same as the shimmy, which does like 21 to 23k damage. Of course, that's full torpedo reload spec shimmies, but still. 10k range is not bad though. Our gun damage was actually pretty solid, 31k from 5 with only 4 fires. Some of them were on, I think one of them was the only Hindenburg, one of them was here and 2 of them were there. I think. I'm not actually sure. But it doesn't really matter that much. We did get some pretty decent gun damage that basically amounts to 60k gun damage and 130k torpedo damage. So I hope you guys enjoyed this gameplay cast. Hope to see you guys on my live stream. No clue how long I'm going to be streaming. But hope to see you guys there. Take care. Have a great day if not. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. And sorry for slacking.